Hello there. Welcome to RHS Quick Tech, brought to you by Robertson Heating Supply. Today, we're going to cover the second video in a series on checking components in an LG Minisplit. Specifically, we're going to cover sensors and other components. My name is James. Let's get started. To start, we're going to be checking the electronic expansion valve, or EEV. To begin, ensure that the power is off and remove the front panel. We'll want to locate the EEV wiring harness. To do so, check your wiring diagram and cross-reference that with what we see on the board. It might be intimidating at first, seeing the board flipped upside down, but allows us to easily see on the back the labels for each of the connections. In our case, right here, this is our EEV wiring harness, and if we look at the top, we can see that it is labeled as such. So we'll go ahead and remove it. As you can see, we have 5 wires. There are 2 types, one with 5 wires and another with 6. To start measuring, what we're going to want to do is reference this chart. In the LGMV service app, you can find these, but it'll look like this. 2 types, 5 and 6 pin. On 5 pins, we'll want to measure 1 to 3, 4, 5, and 6. And we should be seeing 45 ohms or 40 to 50 ohms with the variance. With the 6 pin type, we'll want to measure 1 to 3, 1 to 5, 2 to 4, and 2 to 6. Again, with the same ohm range. If we take this, number 1 pin will be red. We'll want to try and put our needle probes in there. This won't always work depending on the size of your needle probes, and put it on resistance. As you can see here, I'm having a little bit of trouble getting a firm connection. One tip is to go in from the back and insert your needle probes through the back of the connector, as I'll do here. As you can see, 1 to 3, I have 47. The next one, again, 47 ohms. The next one, 46 ohms, which is fine. Again, within the 40 to 50 range. And the last one, we can see we have 47 ohms. Again, as long as it's within the 40 to 50 range, or we know that our coil on our EV is perfectly fine and functional. For our next set of components, we're going to be looking at the thermistors. Thermistors measure temperature, and they change resistance based on temperature. So, after consulting your wiring diagram, locate the sensors. In my case, the thermistors are located here, between these 2 plugs. And you can always identify these by looking at the top of the board and seeing the connection labels. So, just reach up and pull the thermistors off of the board. As you can see, this one has 2 wires Some of these are dual, meaning that they have two sensors based on one plug. For instance, measuring both air temperature and pipe temperature. This one in particular is the discharge temperature sensor. So you want to make sure we're in ohms and measure between the two leads and consult that with a chart. For instance, this one is a 200 ohm sensor, which is very much different than your normal 10K ohm sensor you might be used to seeing. With the tool here, as you can see, we have two sets of wires, 4 wires, and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 are going to go to separate sensors. Again, always consult your wiring diagram to be certain of what we are measuring and look. To check the outdoor fan motor, first ensure that the power is off. Then remove the front panel of the system, exposing the wiring harnesses beneath. Then we'll want to locate our outdoor fan motor wiring harness. To do so, check the wiring diagram or trace the wires back. As always, on top of the board you can read the connection names, and in my case it is this wire here that is the outdoor fan motor wiring harness. Go ahead and disconnect it. As you can see here, we have 3 wires leading to the outdoor fan motor. To begin, make sure you have your meter set to ohms and measure between each of the leads, 1 to 2, 1 to 3, and 2 to 3. As you can see, 1 to 2, we have 51.5 ohms approximately. 1 to 3, as you can see, we have 51.5. And finally, measuring 2 to 3, we can see that we also have 51.5 ohms. To check for a short at the motor, you will have to consult a chart, which I'll display, and measure from each of these windings to the ground of the motor to make sure we aren't shorting. Thank you for watching my video. Hopefully you've learned something today. For further assistance or complaints, please contact the engineering department at 330-821-9180. Thank you and have a good day.